That time will still be on him. In as much as IPOB as an organization doesn't exist as far as we are concerned, Mazi Simon Ekpa was very smart. Mazi Simon Ekpa was very smart and intelligent because he knows that the people we have in Nigeria as representatives are idiots. That was why he didn't wait for them to unprescribe IPOB. He knew that IPOB organization have been hijacked by the government and they have now become a political pressure group. Political pressure group, that was there. That was why Mazi Simon Ekpa smartly moved on onto his own direction, and we all entered into the autopilot. The autopilot brought us to Briggy, and today we are in the United States of Biafra. So whatever prescription they have there doesn't have anything to do with us. But our concern is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is still in their net under that name. That is why we are praying that once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, this organization called IPOB will be thrown into the dustbin. Every one of us, we are IPOB by birth, the indigenous people of Biafra. We are IPOB by birth, but that organization will be thrown into the dustbin where it belongs. Just like what is happening today in the Briggy. That is what happened in IPOB. They went and removed the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the IPOB registration. Some of you have forgotten that part of the story. The same way Isaiah Anyogo removed Mazi Simon Ekpa in registration of Briggy in Baltimore. The same way Isaiah Anyogo removed the name of Mazi Simon Ekpa and make himself president. They did the same thing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All these DOS, they did it. And Mazi Simon Ekpa blew the trumpet when he saw it. He blew the trumpet. And they rushed and began to put it back. The same thing happened. It is just the same template playing out again and again. My fellow Biafrans, we must rise up, because Nigeria doesn't mean well for you. Nigerian government is a terrorist government, and it does not matter who is in charge. Today, your brother Peter Obi is fighting to be there. If Peter Obi go there, he will terrorize you more than Tinubu. If Peter Obi gets into the Asorok, he will terrorize you more than Tinubu. Terrorism is part of Nigerian government established by the British. That is their structure. The foundation is built on lie and terrorism. Remember, the amalgamation was done by force. It was not agreement. It was by force that the northern and the southern protectorate was forced to get together for the business of the West. For the business of the West. Not for your interest, not for my interest. Not for the Hausas, not for the Yorubas, not for the Biafrans. Some of you forget that. And it's still because of that evil agenda. Whether anybody, whether your brother, your sister, your mother becomes the president of Nigeria and gets into Asorok, he or she will terrorize you more than ever. He will terrorize you. You will see what you have not seen before. The earlier you begin to understand that, the better for you and I. The terrorism you are seeing today in Nigeria is sponsored, funded directly and indirectly by Nigerian government. I didn't say it. In their conventional media, they say it. It's not me. You know, when we say it in the social media, they say, oh, you're lying. But there are evidence. In their own conventional media, people come and say that the government is the sponsor of the terrorism. They are directly involved in the insecurity you are seeing today. I want us to listen to this video. Let us listen to this video. But sometimes it's important we bring these things, we'll take your memory back to where we are coming from. Maybe that will help you to understand better.
Revelations are emerging on how Nigeria got itself into the current insecurity that has spread to many parts of the country. A former chieftain of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, that's Abubakar Kawu Baraje, traced the origin of the current insecurity in the country to the influx of Fulani from neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad, brought into the country for election purposes back in 2015. He also backed self-help initiatives of the Southwest governors, stating that responses of Yoruba Nation activist Sunday Igboho to the herdsmen menace were necessary because the federal government failed in its principal responsibility to secure life and property. Baraje, who once served as the party's national secretary and chairman of the breakaway faction of PDP, said the Fulani men causing havoc in the country are not aboriginal to Nigeria. Or to speak more on the allegation of importing Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal to fuel insecurity so as to win the 2015 elections, former PDP National Chairman Alhaji Kawu Baraje joins us on Newsday. Good to have you on the program. Alhaji.
What you are just going to hear is how Nigerian government sponsored terrorism, how the Fulani terrorist group took over Nigeria. You know, when we say it, some people will think is that this is one of the chieftains, what do they call it? They call them the chieftain of APC or whatever, or PDP, making a confession, Kawu Baraje, another making a confession how they brought the terrorism you are seeing today. So when we say Nigerian government is sponsoring terrorism, some of you think, oh, it's a propaganda, oh, it's a blackmail. It's up to you. Continue to think it's a propaganda. But I bet you it is the truth and nothing but the truth. From their own conventional media, this program is coming. I want you to listen, to refresh your memory where we are coming from. For those of you who have forgotten, I want you to pay attention closely. Listen to him.
So much. Haji Kawu, thank you so much for being here. So that was very revelatory, the allegations being made here. I'm just wondering the timing of this revelation and what role you might have played in all of this.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I just want to, we are not surprised. I am not surprised because this is the period that political mudslingers will continue to want to cling to the last straw when their own party is sinking. PDP is not sinking. I am not sinking. I am not in APC. And I will never be in APC. What I said categorically was that in 2014-15, in preparation for 2015 elections, all efforts were made to ensure that APC came into power. And as they build up towards that election, APC never, or some people in APC never thought they were going to win the election. So all manners of scandals were prepared, to ensure that if APC didn't win, then Nigeria may not stay. That was I said. And the correct thing was carried. And I'm so surprised that some mischief makers are at work. Even last week, they came up to say to put my name on record that I am defected to APC. And I told them that that's their wishes. It is this period that any sinking party will be looking for good character to smear, and not me. I'm working coverage. That's my stand.
Now, I'd like to follow up on something that you mentioned earlier. You said that you were indeed with the APC, but that you quickly left before you got your fingers burnt. Can you explain what you meant by that statement?
Yes. You see, when political parties and associations form alliances, they form alliances based on some agreements. Such agreements becomes operational if such party that was put into focus comes into power. APC was the party that various groups came together to form. And it came around at a time when we had some internal problems in PDP. And I happened to be pushed forward to provide leadership for the group that was coming from the PDP, which was known as the new PDP, the defunct new PDP. So we were on agreement on certain issues. And immediately we came into power, no sooner that we realized that those agreements were being violated. So we have to go back because we stood for honesty, we stood for fighting for the masses. And the idea that we had before we went to agreement was that the individuals that were meeting APC, as they refer to themselves as progressive, the idea they had was not progressive enough for us. That's what I mean.
All right, Alaji Baraje. Speaking.
The most important information I want us to hear here is the confession of this man. I want you to listen to what this lady had to say.
Part of the country. A former chieftain of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, that's Abubakar Kawu Baraje, traced the origin of the current insecurity in the country to the influx of Fulani from neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad to the country for election purposes back in 2015. He also backed self-help initiatives of the Southwest governors, stating that responses of Yoruba Nation activist Sunday Igboho to the herdsman menace were necessary because the federal government failed in its principal responsibility to secure life and property.
When you listen to what this broadcaster said, this man that just spoke, Kawu Baraje, I don't want us to go there. It's a very long program. I don't want us to go there. This is a man that made a confession that it was the government of Nigeria that went and brought in the terrorists, the Fulanis. And they are Fulanis. And this man himself said he supports the action taken by Sunday Igboho then. He supports the action taken by Sunday Igboho to protect his people. The same action we are taking today, the same action man is taking, that even the people in Biafra land are fighting him. I don't know why our own case is different, but wherever you are as a Biafran, I want you to pray that our situation will not be worse than that of the Tifi people. You have removed Mazen Nandekano with your gossip and propaganda. You remove Mazen Samanepa with your gossip and propaganda. Today, the Fulanis have surrounded everywhere. Pray that the situation of the Tifi people is not better than our own. You are hearing the report of what is happening in Tifi. You are hearing the report of what is going on in the land of Tifi people. You heard about the 200 men that they lost and what transpired. Government was aware. Everybody was aware. They were all in it together. And yet, they watch those things happen. Pray that our situation does not become like that of the Tifi people. And that is what we are going to see. That is what we are seeing today. That is, if care is not taken, the situation of the Tifi people will be better than us. Nobody is going to save you. It is only us that will save ourselves. You had the confession of what transpired in Tifi land. We had 200 men we are murdered. You had the confession. Let me see if I can get that confession so that we can listen to the eyewitness account again. Eyewitness account of what happened in Tifi land. We had 200 men we are murdered. Let me see if I can get it. Let us listen briefly, just briefly, to the eyewitness account so that you can know what we are about to face. That if care is not taken, our situation is going to be worse.
More than 200 people were killed. When I woke up this morning and I got the story of what happened,
The first 7 calls I put across were all killed. The first 7 guys I called,
You tried to call, we're all dead.
exactly, they were all dead. So in my village, if you speak to someone, just be very rest assured that in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, you hear the sad news about that person you've just spoken to.
Did you hear what's happening in Tifiland? That when you call somebody today and speak to him, be rest assured that in the next 2 weeks, when you call the person again, the person will be dead. This is what is happening in Tifiland. This man is telling you what is happening in his own place. Once you call somebody on phone and speak to that person, there is every possibility that when you call that person again in the next 2 weeks, that person will be dead in the hand of the Fulanis. And this is what is trying to replicate in our land. Today, you are not even sure in Biafra land that the person that goes out will come in. Every time you have a phone call from Nigeria, your mind will fly out. Nobody is sure of seeing the next day in Biafra land. This is what the TV people is facing. This is a first-hand eyewitness account. You heard him saying that when you call somebody from his village, call back in the next day, on the next 2 weeks, you'll be rest assured that that person will be dead. Hear it from him again.
The first 7 calls I put across were all killed. The first 7 guys I called,
You tried to call, we're all dead.
exactly, they were all dead. So in my village today, if you speak to someone, just be very rest assured that in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, you hear the sad news about that person you've just spoken to. And do you know, before now, just last month, about 20 people were killed in that same village. They are the Fulani, and it's not ethnic profiling. They are the Fulani, it's not ethnic profiling. When people want to be politically correct, they will say, no, that is an ethnic, it's not, and that is why you see the Sultan of Sokoto will not react to this. He reacted when just about 11 people were butchered were killed in Edo State, the so-called hunters. They reacted. They put up Northern Elders Forum. They made several press conferences. Many governors stood up. The governor of Edo had to travel to some of the states to go and say sorry. Just 11.
Did you hear that? When those acclaimed hunters, people you and I know that they are not hunters. I know, you know that those people were not hunters. What are you going to hunt all the way from Sokoto or Borno in River State? What are you going to hunt in River State? They were not hunters. But when those people were brought down, those terrorists were brought down, Sultan of Sokoto spoke out. All the northern governors, they were outraged and they were talking. And before you know it, the southern governors begin to travel all the way to Sokoto to go and apologize. But in your own case, who cares? They come to Biafra land, they murder people. Look at what happened in Umuaka recently. Innocent life taken. Look at the one that's happening in Anambra State, Ebonyi State. Innocent life taken. Nobody is apologizing to anybody. Nobody is saying sorry. Look at the one that happened in the Tifi land. Nobody is apologizing. Nobody said sorry. But when it happens to them, everybody will running helter skelter. They have made you so scared. They have conditioned the people in the South to accept third-class citizen. They can do anything and get away with it. And you still want to be part of this very contraption. You are mad. As for we Biafrans, we will be out. But it's not just saying that you'll be out. You must prepare. Stop sabotaging your brother and your sister. Stop sabotaging your fellow Biafrans. Stop sabotaging. The Janjaweed don't even sabotage their terrorists. They don't sabotage their thieves. They don't. The Janjaweed don't sabotage their own. It doesn't matter what the person is doing. They don't sabotage it. We have to learn, borrow leave from them, borrow leave, learn how to preserve your own. I have said it and shouted it. We must begin to learn how to preserve our own self-preservation. We have to start it now, not tomorrow.
They made several press conferences. Many governors stood up. The governor of Edo had to travel to some of the states to go and say sorry. Just 11 hunters. That is alleged hunters.
Alleged hunters. They are not hunters.
Who were killed. Now, 200, nobody in the north
They
is
are not hunters.
Because that is the collective agenda. Jihad and the complete takeover of the land of our people. And let me tell you, so I'm saying it authoritatively. I'm an authority in this area. I was born and raised in Jos. I speak Hausa as my first language. I speak Hausa better than I speak Tiv. And let me tell you, this thing they call intelligence. We are the sources of this intelligence. The government sometimes use the narrative of intelligence to confuse you.
As if what they know is different. They know exactly what we know, but we even know better. Because where are the sources of this intelligence? Many of my friends from the adjoining villages in Nasarawa State who are of different ethnic group other than the Fulanis. Anytime the Fulanis are mobilizing, like this attack, they told us day before yesterday. We communicated to the security force. Nothing has been done. They communicated to us.
No, just hold on, because this is too much to rush. I'm sorry. Are you saying that you got an intelligence report as a civilian? Your community had an intelligence report about this particular attack that killed over 200 people? And
my sister, do you know the funny thing? It is no longer secret. It's not like the secret cultism in Nigeria. They gathered their AK-47 in a community called Giza in Nasarawa State, in the boundary between Nasarawa and Benue, in Giza and Kadoko. All our friends from there, and they come out in the open way. They are just in the whole meeting openly. You know, they are going to strike in Hirota, and then some people begin to beat them farewell. Allah Ikulafia. May God take you seven. May God take you seven. Yes,
Did you hear that? Did you hear? Some of you think I say if care is not taken, our own situation will be worse than this of Tifi. Tifi people are suffering their own today. Look at a first-hand testimony that even before the Fulani strike, they get update. They tell them where they gather their AK-47 and move for the operation. Everybody know. If individuals could know, how much more the security agent know, but they will not do anything because it is an agenda that has been signed and sealed that Nigeria belongs to the Fulanis. Anytime you call yourself a Nigerian, exposing yourself to danger. Anytime you embrace the Fulani agenda. Anytime you call yourself a Nigerian, you have already embraced the Fulanization and Islamization of Nigeria. Nobody can stop it. It doesn't matter who you make president. It doesn't matter. Nobody can stop it. The only solution is for us to fight and fight the best way we can to free ourselves from this calamity. Are you not afraid? Are you not shivering when you are hearing this testimony?